Shit, everybody eating. What man, Earl eating? What you eating?
Broccoli and rice.
Oh yeah, I should have known. You, yeah. I was talking about Dave because your meals never sound, appealing. Earl, what are you eating? Cabbage and lima beans or some shit. Like I'm like, I don't want it. I don't want it. I mean, impossible rice, sir. I didn't even know there was a such thing as an impossible rice. I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
Oh my god!
You got no flavor on that. Throw some salt.
He said lima beans.
I just know if you ever cook anything, I'm putting seasoning salt on everything, just because I don't know how that's
everything.
Everything
with hot sauce.
On it.
I mean, like you put some hot sauce on it, I'll fuck it up. I don't care what it is. Just tell me what it is. Cheers. And look, you got unseasoned water too. No flavor in your water.
Nah, that's spring water. It's that good stuff.
This podcast is going downhill. We used to drink. Now he's drinking water. Now I just feel like the only two alcoholics up here is me and Dave. You know what I'm saying? And you know what? I'll stand by myself. Fuck it. I said what I am. It's okay.
I'm sorry.
I don't like it. I don't like it at all. He let us down. You let me down, Shrek. He let me down. You let me down.
Cool.
You're listening to the Hot Seed Podcast.
The Hot Seed.
Welcome all. I'm Shawn, along with my co-host Earl.
Yes, sir.
Dave.
That ain't your word, boy. Yes, sir.
And you know what it is. We're just dads with mics, gamers with headsets, and a whole lot of unfiltered conversation. As always, make sure you follow us on Instagram and Facebook at the Hot Seed Podcast. And be sure to listen, like, rate, review, share, and most importantly, enjoy on Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, wherever you get your favorite shows. And subscribe on the YouTube channel, man, at the Hot Seed Podcast. Welcome back to another episode 132. I'm back with my bros, man. We was all like a week or so. People have been traveling and getting sick and all types of weird shit's been happening. How we doing, guys? And yes, this is a onesie. And yes, I'm having a cigar.
You could have just kept that to yourself, bro. Like I would have just said, that's a nice little Cosby sweater.
That's a beautiful setup. That's a Gordon Gartrell.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
I ain't gonna hold you.
Got the hoodie and everything.
I ain't gonna hold you. I'm not hating on onesies because I was looking for one the other day.
This shit's warm.
They comfortable as shit.
It's comfortable as hell. Like I ain't gonna lie. I might be naked in here. I ain't gonna lie. This is comfortable. That's the fleece.
All right, bro. Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Yeah, that's way too much. That shit
it's hot as hell. Yeah. Hot as hell, and the zipper gets stuck. He can't use the bathroom.
Oh man, that's what I'm saying. Like, they make these things right. The zipper all the way up here. If you gotta go, you gotta zip all the way down. Like, bro, y'all don't know a little slot or something.
What happened to the little flap that used to be in the back?
Yeah, I feel like that's something they did since what's the holiday film that we all watch?
Christmas Story.
Yeah, which is
but they ain't even had that in there. He had the bunny onesie. That shit was a zipper.
I'm gonna say something controversial real quick since you bring that up. Every black person I know loves that film.
Sure do.
Ain't no Negroes in that film.
Yes, it is.
Who?
Yes, it is. So a couple of times, if you look, when they went to the store,
is he a mailman or a cashier clerk?
No, they was people that was in the store when he was in the store.
Okay.
And they went to like the Macy's or something like that. He went to go talk to Santa. There was black people in there.
I'm about to watch that back. I watched this film. I said, we get so excited.
And in his class, and in the classroom, it was black kids in there.
I gotta go watch the film.
When my man went outside to put his tongue on the pole, it was showing up with black kids in that classroom.
Let me run that back. There's no black supporting actors, I guess, in that film. I guess, right?
Well, I mean that's that. Hey yo, don't ruin a good thing. Don't worry.
I'm not gonna ruin custom store for me. I'm good.
I just brought it up. I just thought about it just now.
Like that movie. Let me tell you something with that movie. Christmas Story, as long as I live, will be a fixture. Like that is honestly the one consistent thing for me about Christmas, no matter what changes, what changes, what things move differently. You know what I'm saying? Like the one thing that's consistent for me is Christmas Story. And I would never sit there and watch that whole thing in one sitting. I let it play on TBS because it plays it plays every year on
Christmas
TBS.
Story, you can catch it at any time.
You can catch it at any time.
Continue watching it.
And the sad thing is you can watch that movie throughout the whole day, right? Haven't seen it in one setting, but seen the whole movie. You understand what I'm saying?
Shawn, you know what? It's interesting that you actually said that. It's going to fit into some of the things I'm going to discuss today, some of the controversial things that are out there and thoughts. But with Christmas Story, the reason why there's no, like, I guess you could say color controversy to it is because it relates with everybody.
Yep.
The story of it relates, like the situation that they're in, the way that they're raising the kids, put the soap in the mouth, you know, like all that stuff. The dad that's sitting back like, man,
they was cussing.
My life ain't worth nothing, but I got this lamp though.
But he a bowler, so you know that speak to me.
You know, like all this stuff going on, it was relatable in that way. Now, if it was a family that looked nothing like us, no situations like us, anything like that, we probably would be like, man, this is a big ass story right here.
All right. The winning and what's the name ass?
I mean, I feel you with that though. I feel like I struck a nerve, but I feel you with that. I mean, it's better than, you know, we all watching Christmas Story, but I guarantee you ain't nobody sitting around watching slaves film that ain't us on holidays.
But and you know the other thing too, I refuse. I'm ignoring that. I refuse to buy the DVD. And the reason being is because that movie in my household plays one time, and it plays on Christmas Eve until Christmas Day. And after that, that's it.
I'm with you. I mean, they got a new Color Purple coming out, so yeah, I can see it already.
Well,
we're gonna see it.
Yeah, it's coming out, so you know, and it's coming out on Christmas.
We're gonna see it Christmas Day.
Yep. So if you guys go back to our previous episodes, and we had a laugh about this, and I threw it into there, but it kind of all the same thing. I don't know. I still don't know. I don't know what it is. Why this still is a thing? Like we got to show the black folks hardship to a certain extent on Christmas. That's no, you don't. It happens every year though. Every year. Where we gonna stick with? I guess. I don't know.
You don't even know you cut out, huh?
I don't know what happened there. I guess the universe was like, we don't want to hear that shit right now.
But it's a musical.
It is. It has Halle Bailey in it. So she was a little mermaid. She's playing Celie. No, not Celie. Yeah, she's on there. Fantasia. You know, it should be pretty dope. Like from a musical aspect, you know, the pipes is gonna be right in this case. So I'm curious to see how it goes.
I've heard it's very good for people that's already seen it.
Got you. Which is crazy because Got you. So it ain't leaked. I don't see nothing that's leaked out. You know, they ain't leaked it. Sierra is even in it. So I'm not sure how she fits into the singing part, but she can dance though.
Wow.
I'm serious. Like I don't know. You know. I don't know how they doing this. I'm just saying, man. God, don't come from me if you're out in Denver, stuff like that. Anyway, man. How we doing, guys? How y'all been, man? I ain't seen y'all in a little while. How we been doing?
You know, can't complain, brother. You know, just getting through this holiday blues with this shopping shit.
That's facts.
Yeah,
look,
I think
just to expand on that, because actually, Shawn, you spoke about this a while ago when we were talking about the housing crisis and stuff like that. I don't want to hear shit from all these families and parents sitting up there talking about all these rates and stuff.
Yep.
And you charging $1,000 like it ain't nothing to your credit card that charge over 20-something% and up. And you're getting this stuff for your kids
that don't deserve it.
They play with once, don't deserve it.
Right.
Break it. All these things. So yeah.
Just for a moment to say I did that. That's you do all that to say, yep, I did that right there. I'm like, all right, I guess that's what you want to do.
I've always told y'all years back, we both looked at each other, my wife and I, and we said the whole getting each other a whole bunch of stuff, we stopping that. I said we do stuff throughout the whole year, and mainly it's a joint effort towards the house and different things like that. I said we'll come together as far as we can for our son, but we still ain't even going crazy in that sense. Like we do specific things because once again we get stuff all throughout the year. So there's certain things that we get for him for Christmas, and we're good. So for everybody that's breaking their neck and spending their last dime, and then it's a great Christmas, but January sucks.
Bruh, you
That
see
ain't
that
gonna be
bill
this
come in?
household.
Yeah. I ain't got time for it.
I feel you. They done paid 2 mortgages with the money that they done put down on this damn Christmas.
Yeah, man.
I feel you, bro. I feel you.
It's smarter.
You got to, man. You got to. Like, look, anytime you paying upwards of $10 for a carton of eggs or something like that, bro, I'm about to wrap one of them eggs, and you gonna open this. It's gonna be a surprise for us all. Hard boiled or soft, one of the two.
Shit, I'm like, you got food and you got a place to stay. Merry Christmas, motherfucker. Sit your ass there.
Yeah, wrap. I throw a bowl on that plate. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no Santa. That's me. You know what I'm saying? Santa ain't tearing his credit up for this goddamn race car track you're gonna break anyway. You get off this. Get off this track. It's just fine. It's the Hot Seat Podcast with your boy Shawn, Earl, Dave. Episode 132. Dave kind of he foreshadowed to a conversation, and this may go anywhere. But we're talking about the whole the housing situation going on and such, but we're gonna tie it into something that's happening right now, especially for those around the DMV area. Not even call it DMV, Washington, D.C. and Northern Virginia. That's what's happening. So for those who are not aware, the current Washington residents in the basketball and in the hockey realms, that being the Capitals and the Wizards, look like they're about to be packing up and moving their ass over to Potomac Yards in Northern Virginia. So right now, I know the state, they came up, I think it was like a 12-person, correct me if I'm wrong, Dave, because I'm reading the story, a 12-person panel or something. They were voting on a situation to move those teams, of course, with Monumental Sports, the owner being Ted Leonsis, moving them into Northern Virginia. I don't know what the date is, though.
Alexandria, to be exact, because some people don't know
there.
Potomac Yards.
And it's a lot of conversations coming up right now where there's some people that are concerned in D.C. because now they're saying, hey, we're about to lose a very significant part of our financial, crutch here in downtown D.C. Yeah. And to be perfectly honest, if you guys have never been to a Wizards or Caps game, is located in a Chinatown area of Washington, D.C., which is, if you ever been to Chinatown in New York or L.A., it ain't really Chinatown. I think they might have like a Panda Express, and I don't think that's from China, and some other shit. So it's not really Chinatown.
Yeah, you're out of pocket right now, bro.
I'm being real, though. It's not New York, China.
I've been there. there.
It's not. So they try to pump that up that way. And then in that same area, where it's situated, Ted Leonsis, they've been trying to get this thing to expand because that arena is old, even though it's called the Capital One Arena right now. Prior to that, I believe it was the Verizon Center. Prior to that, it was the MCI Center. That goes back, if you guys know, like the old telephones back then, we had MCI WorldCom. It goes back to then, and then whatever else before that.
I just gotta say that's one of the weirdest spots to put.
It is. It's like right on a square block.
It's like it don't make sense. Like it doesn't. It's like they said, let's squeeze that in there.
Yeah.
And the area is not getting any better.
Not at all. Right in DC. And if you guys know anything about DC, if you go back into during the crack era, DC was popping during the crack era. Just watching the Dave Chappelle stand up, he'll let you know. At one point, you can go down Pennsylvania Avenue and there was plywood going over, potholes. So, don't let that whole nation capital thing fool you. But them not being able to expand, to Earl's point, that stadium, anything like that, there's no space for it. You can't really expand it. Mm-hmm. And what it looks like is, I was doing some digging. So Ted Leonsis, this is weird. He owns, if I'm correct, the arena and what's above ground. But DC or the Fed, whoever owns it, they own the below ground of that arena, which is really weird. And Dave and I have went, and you saw that one time we parked at a Caps game, and we were parked next to a pole that we barely were able to get out of the car at the time. So, so he was asking for about 600 million, if I'm correct, in public funds or something like that. DC was balking at that. They got other issues as well. And Northern Virginia, which is by far one of the most highly affluent areas. You're talking about Reston, Tyson's Corner, Sterling. The money's out there. And they're like bringing on over. And they are the largest state. Virginia is the largest state in the country that does not have a professional sports team. They don't. They really don't. So it's not final yet, but we real close. Like when I say we close, we like in the top of the eighth, if you know baseball terms, and they're moving. So Dave, what else you got on this? I know we were talking about earlier.
But see, this is the thing. When you're looking at it, it could also be used as a sense of pushing that bar, pushing that meter at DC.
Absolutely.
You know, like, hey, we got an able and willing buyer over here. You know, just think sales in general. I got an able and willing buyer over here that's ready to go and more than happy. Now, I want to stay in DC, but I mean, if I just got to go across the water or go across the bridge right there to VA, we're fine.
Yeah.
And that's where DC has to wake up, because let's say the Caps and Wiz do go over to Alexandria. Okay.
Yeah.
You still got the Commanders that haven't locked down on their place, and you're not sure if it's going to be in DC.
And Westmore ain't trying to get them to leave Maryland.
For those of you that don't know, they play in Maryland. So what are we looking at?
Yeah.
DC United? Like what? I don't see nothing else in DC.
And to put it in perspective, the 600 million they were asking for was for like a major renovation. If they do make the move to Virginia, they're looking at like a 8 million square foot, and I can't even imagine how big that is. 8 million square foot arena section business what they're doing there for the for the Caps and for the Wizards. Which to be perfectly fair though, the Caps, okay, the Wizards gonna have to get a little bit better, because they're moving to a new arena ain't gonna make them no better. But that's neither here nor there.
They also had a transportation, I believe, right there.
Yes, they do.
Isn't it the train? The train is there.
Yeah. So another thing with this though is, and this can't go without stating, the area around that arena and Chinatown and that little, it's not good, man. From the empty restaurants, the restaurants have pulled out of the area because of one, a lot of the work from home folks or hybrid models, they're no longer coming into downtown. So you're not making the money off of that, off the apartments and stuff like that. And two, the crime. The crime crazy down there? The crime rate in DC has gone up. And so much so, the one thing that stands out, and this year in 2023, there have been more than 930 carjackings reported in DC. And it's probably more than that. It said 451 during that same period. And this report was as of, we're talking about, this is from the Washington Post. Actually, that's up to December 11th. So almost 1,000 carjackings. So much so that, and I've seen it personally, one of the Commanders players, Brian Robinson, at the beginning of last season, in an attempted carjacking that happened in the middle of the day in what you want to call a decent part of DC. 2 young teenagers attempted to carjack him, and it resulted in him being shot in the middle of the day, not nighttime. We're talking about around lunchtime, brunch, or whatever case may be. And I'm seeing videos here and there. I mean, it's become so blatant. A lot of it is the youth. They don't have any type of policing of it. They've charged, I think recently, the feds and FBI, they charged about 10 young men or men in this whole like carjacking thing. So you got that going on.
But see, before you go away from that, real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
And this may be another controversial thing that comes out there, but this is where you tread that line of when you want to reform policing and things change so dramatically, and you're not seeing people around. See, there's a difference between getting bad cops out of there, which we all agree upon, and changing it so dramatically that cops can't police.
Right.
And when I say it's so dramatic, where they're just leaving it to the community, unless it's to a certain realm, I'm not coming out there. We got other things to worry about, because the response is so thought about now, where they're like, I'm going to put my own self in danger.
Exactly.
And you'll see it, like it's totally different now, man.
Yep.
It's totally different now. So, you know, I know cops personally, and you know one of them that is leaving the force because they don't want to be in that situation no more.
Right.
Somebody that gave a good portion of their life to it, has a high position within that force, and they're like, nah, man, it's just not worth it. They're just stepping away. So, you know, while we sit up there and we point out all the things bad that are going on, realize there's very good people out there trying to do that for a living and put their lives on the line for the right reason, but they feel like there's so much in I guess a standstill of how they're supposed to react to situations that they've been trained in. They're just like, nah, I'm good. So you're seeing these areas, especially in DC, that, man, it's not it. And for the people that know that whole coverage is down, imagine how you're staking out a place like that arena, and people are coming out, maybe a little out of it. You know what I mean? Like, in their fun phase of things, not paying attention to certain things that you would normally pay attention to. It's an easy get.
We all know at the end of the day, this comes down to money and stuff like that. And then to some people, they will say, you know, why is this billionaire owner of this company complaining, of these sports teams complaining that he's not getting public funds from, the city to help renovate and this, that, and the third. And then they'll say, well, how come they don't take that money and put it back into the community? Which there is some partially a truth in that. But I'm also say this. I'm going to push back on some of the things like that. Whenever I hear somebody say something like, well, why doesn't XYZ put that money back into the community that they are making money off of? Let me push this past you real quick. You can I'm willing confident to say that if you ask any of these owners of these sports teams like that, and if you ask them to show you the books for ticket sales compared to the money that they get from TV rights to sponsor other companies like that, fans aren't keeping that arena open. They are not. It's the businesses, the sponsors and stuff like that that's applying that money. And then fans are just filling the seats and such. And, a lot of that money is going to where the stuff taxed to go into, and it's not taking them off the hook. But at the same time, you look at the areas around this, and unfortunately, it's a two-part. It comes to a level of accountability. You have the voice, whether you believe it or not, in these areas to decide, hey, we don't want a particular arena or something here. If you really, really don't want that here, or if you have these nice, and I see if you have these places that are making for a better overall living situation around areas, be accountable and don't allow individuals to fuck it up, black or white. It doesn't matter what race. You see this happen so often, but people are so hands off. And the first thing you point at is, well, we got this thing here is driving traffic and stuff like that. A lot of areas around there like these, if we go to the games, but you got your head on a swivel, hey, what's happening here? So there's a lot of people at fault at the end of the day, but it comes down to the accountability aspect of it. And two, who you put in power to make these decisions for you, because they're going to make decisions that are going to be beneficial to them. I have not heard one thing, any type of glowing endorsement of Mayor Bowser in DC. And this is a black woman. And I have not heard one thing. Now, I know she reports to other people, but I have not heard one glowing, no support of that. because they got a lot. It's the same thing with the young mayor they got out here in Baltimore. It's the same thing. So what's going to happen right now is, and companies that aren't willing to conform to the times now, more money is going to be lost because companies have adopted again, the main thing for them is offices, restaurants, and business. They stuff pulled out because it costs them less to operate on a hybrid or work from home basis. It is what it is. The times have changed, and if you don't conform, this is what's going to happen. So you have that old mindset. Now, go ahead.
And this is what I was telling you before. See, it's a trickle down effect too,
right?
Because you take these teams out of there, right? Take that whole arena out.
Yep.
That means you're also taking out concerts and other events that go on there.
Exactly. Yep.
You're already dealing in a state in the last 3-4 years where they've already been losing money in the city because government workers aren't back there.
Right.
Because they're still mostly remote. And if they do got to go in, they're going in 1-2 times a week, and they still ain't staying in the city to eat. They'll just work there straight 8 hours, 7 hours, whatever, and roll the hell on out to get back home to save money because they see how much they've saved through all these years of not doing a commute and not paying for their lunch and things like that.
Right.
So you got all these mom and pop stores and things like that that are trying to stay alive, and now it's just another thing that is coming off their plate and coming out of their budget. And that's why I say it's a trickle-down effect, because that's when you see people pushing for things, and it's a bigger story than what we can discuss here in one motion. But that's where when you hear things like raise minimum wage, get it up to 15, 18, 20 something dollars an hour, that sounds great when you're talking about these big companies. That doesn't sound great when you're that mom and pop store that only has a couple of employees, and now I got to pay them for being on that hourly while I'm seeing my whole income come down each and every year. Now one of my biggest profit gainers, another one coming out. It's like, I can't stay open. Why am I doing this?
Yeah.
Why am I doing this?
And to that point, who lives in DC really? Like, it's not cheap to live in DC. It really isn't.
I can tell you that right now.
It is not cheap to live in DC at all.
And it's not getting cheaper.
It's not. It's not. But the crazy thing is, it's not getting cheaper. But when you drive around DC, you're like, oh no, buddy, what am I paying for? Like, unless you're in like the downtown of the city, but you're looking at offices, you're looking at some high-end restaurants, hotels, stuff like that. All that looks well. But step back a little bit and look at what actually DC is made of. And then you look at the cost of living there. And then you have to deal with all the excess of crime and the congestion and things that people are moving at a snail's pace, but still they're asking for that amount. Yeah. I mean, and then you still on top of that, sometimes you get to a point you're like, I'm not even trying to travel out to a event or something because I don't even want to try to get through the traffic to get through DC.
I would say, but I guess my question would be, what is the allure of living in DC?
It's the name. It's
DC.
It's the DC. It's just like a
some
person.
People are just city people. Yeah, some people are just like New York people.
New York City.
Love to be
I mean,
in the city.
I get
LA.
that, but I mean, we can't compare it to New York only because.
No, I'm not comparing, but I'm telling you when you ask about the mindset of why people want to be there.
No, I get it. I mean,
it's a talking point. Hey, I live in Washington D.C. or I live in New York City, or it's a talking point.
But it's just,
they like I'm saying they like that access to the things within the city, like restaurants, like places to go, things like that.
Because in New
York,
me,
I'm fine with being 20, 25, 30 minutes out. And if I want to go to a place, go. Some people, I want to walk out of my place and walk to the wharf.
I mean, because in New York, like I feel like New York, and this is the only reason why I say you can't compare it, because there's a plethora like that. There's a plethora of things you can do in New York. You know, there's people who have lived in New York their whole life, and they still discovering things that you can do. You know what I'm saying? Right. Socialites are still discovering things. Like it's that many things. Whereas DC, it's a nice size city and stuff like that, but it's it's limited, and things of that nature.
Well, I also realize that it's changed too, though, Earl. Remember, if you go back, and this is before I was up here, but I know about it, of it being Chocolate City and then
Yeah.
people being pushed out.
Yeah.
So even that culture has changed from where you could really represent in the city.
Right.
So that's why it's a valid question that you asked. Why do people want to be there? A lot of people want to be there, but they can't anymore. I mean, Southern Maryland is old DC.
Yeah,
That's
true.
really what it is. People moved, pushed on out of DC and went to like, that's why you hear about Waldorf and things like that, and White Plains and La Plata, and you hear about Upper Marlboro and well, Dewey's have always been in their cluster, but you hear about more of us being pushed out to these areas. And then for the pockets that we do have in DC, you don't want to be there.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna put it like
I
that.
mean, I look at it when I love DC. I mean, I love everything about DC. One of the things I did like about DC is that I would say, not even be corny, but like the culture. Like I feel like DC moved to the beat of their own drum, to the point where
True.
The original people.
Yeah,
Right.
When I'm talking about DC, I'm talking about DCP. I ain't talking about people that moved there. Same thing like with New Yorkers. I ain't talking about Manhattan and this new Brooklyn. I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about cats that's from New York.
I got you.
You know what I'm saying? But when I say like DC, like you talking about
Timberlands and Averex. Keep going.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about like all the days and New Balances and phones. Like they move to the beat of their own drum. They wear their own. And this is what I really love, because when you say Chocolate City, it was the epitome of Chocolate City. I've never seen a place where they wear local brands and they're Black owned. And everybody from DC understand. They can say, "Oh, I know." I mean, from when I was coming up and when I was, it was All the Days or Shooters and things in that. And these were Black owned. You know what I'm saying? And it was different. Then you had go-go music, which is synonymous to DC. You know what I'm saying? And it's just that, and it's just the flavor and the vibe there. It's different, but like, I don't know, now when I go up there, man, or down there, like, I feel like the areas that I'm like, that used to be DC, look, it's corporate, man. Respectfully, it's like, it's white folks there, and it's like,
corporate, bro. It's corporate. A lot of business, tech offices, government, and stuff like that.
And don't get me wrong. I'm cool with gentrification in a sense, but not when you're driving people out. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna bring businesses there for the people and make the environment more suitable, I'm cool with that. But when you're talking about, I'm gonna raise these prices to move this particular group out, like I'm not with that, because this is where people are from.
But the thing that disturbs me, Earl, we discussed it before, besides the homelessness situation and stuff like that, the thing that really disturbs me is this is the capital. You got government workers that are making money. I mean, hell, remember, you got people that hold positions that even when they leave, they get paid forever. Some of them have security forever and things like that. And healthcare is set forever. All these different type of things. All this money being moved, whether it's here, whether it's there, whether it's for Ukraine, whether it's for Israel, whether it's for whatever. Yet your immediate surrounding area is poor.
Yeah.
And we talk about it all the time, but we talk about it in the sense of third world countries and areas that are like resort driven. You go down to like South America and you're at its beautiful resort, and then a mile away, you're in nothing but just poorness around.
Exactly.
We had the same thing here.
Where?
Same exact thing. I'm saying we have the same, what we're talking about. You have all this money moving in a place like DC, and you step right off that grass of Capitol Hill and stuff like that, and boom, you are in it. You are in it. And
and it's like a block. It's like a block away.
All these decisions get made, and this is your housing area, and you don't even take care of your immediate scenery.
Because it ain't because I mean, you know the answer to that, because it ain't like it's
no. I know the answer, but it's sad that we still.
Yeah.
You get what I mean? Like nobody you hear about taxation without the representation and things like that. Hell,
Right.
let's go back to the beginning of this conversation. Part of your representation of DC is about to
It's
get
gone.
taken to
Yeah.
Alexandria.
It's
Yeah.
gone.
You know,
Exactly.
whether the Wizards are good or not, you know, it's still DC.
Yeah.
Whether the Capitals just won a couple years ago, that's about to be gone. Hey, I hope you remember it. You know, like
But
I mean, and it's
crazy.
I think like I mean, you see this in a lot of big cities, right? That, and I would say cities that have like a urban like niche to it. You know what I'm saying? Like I think about when I'm talking about that, I'm talking about like a DC, Philly, Newark, New York, well, New York too big, but no, you can say New York because I look at like Harlem. You know what I'm saying? Things
Yeah, I was
like
about to
that.
say you could say.
Or I look
break
like
down
Brooklyn.
borough-wise.
Brooklyn. Where the arena is at. When I was a young buck, they ain't look nothing. I mean, nothing like it does now.
But stay there. Stay there for a second, Earl, just because you said that. Stay
Yeah,
there for a second.
but
Forget the Nets, because that's hold on. Forget the Nets for a second, because that's not home.
mhm.
Imagine if all of a sudden the Knicks weren't at Madison Square Garden and weren't in New York no more.
Now here, look, I'm gonna stay
That's
on
what
that
I'm
same
saying.
thing.
That's the feel.
What? So the Ted Leonsis, the owner of Monumental Sports, who owns the Caps and the Wizards, he's actually been on a record stating that he wants to build a business model like MSG. So like, it's the Knicks aren't just the Knicks. Like MSG is a whole enterprise.
Madison Square
of
Garden
different
is
things.
year round, yeah.
Yeah, no,
That joint
but
is
not just
year-round.
the Garden. Like MSG is a whole thing. Like there's
No, I
other
got you.
entities. So
I got you.
he wants to take Monumental Sports because MSG, you have the channels, right? You have like whatever that massive MSG Sports channel, wherever that is up in New York.
Yeah, you got
I
the
forget. It's like,
network.
yeah, you got the network. He has that with Monumental Sports here in DC.
And
So they're
Cablevision.
trying to do that. Exact. So he's trying to do that type of thing. What hurts about, to bring this thing full circle, what hurts about them moving this out of this, you have the Caps. We've been to a Caps game. Most of the people there are white. I ain't gonna lie. You have some of us in there, but it's white. But it's a different tenor. But when you go to a Wizards game, it's a lot of us there, bro. Like it's us. Like we are in there, Caps in there. They dressed up. It's us. So that is a big miss. That is the big miss. Them moving it outside of the district.
But I'll go ahead. I'm sorry.
And with that, at the same time, you're going to have, at some point, if you move them out of here, you're going to have nothing but your tech, your government, and these other, buildings there. But you think about it, it's all this federal spending. The people who subsidize all this, no matter what they tell you, well, this comes out of this pot. You know who makes up those pots? Your goddamn federal taxes make up those pots. When they say this comes from this comes from the people there, us. So again, that goes back to, you have a voice at large if you decide to exercise this, so you don't have these same things. So every time you look and say, yeah, this does not matter, that vote don't matter, me going to be paying attention to this, that shit matters. As hard, one person, you may seem like it's just me against the world. But when you start to see something as large as this happening and them pulling out of areas, and because a lot of people say, well, and to a certain point, if you really look at the numbers of it, stadiums don't really help boost the actual overall living around the area. It really doesn't. The living conditions, every stadium you go to, you can pretty much look from right there and see like the housing situation around there isn't that good. Every single one.
So this was the point that I was trying to make, because we kind of switched, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
When you have, I'm gonna use Newark as an example. You know what I'm saying? So Newark is like it's like 50-60% black. You know what I'm saying? The other percentage is Hispanic, and then the small percentage of like others, right?
Right.
With Newark in particular, where you don't see gentrification in the sense of people who are not from there moving in.
Yeah. Right.
Now you see a little bit. What you do see in Newark is you see a flux of people from New York that live in North because it's a little bit cheaper.
Exactly.
And they catch, they're kind of picking up from the fact that you're right by the Penn Station, so it's easy access, right? But you don't see like a flux of white folks and stuff like that coming in the North. Yeah, there's pockets, but not like crazy like that. What I'm asking for, I'm cool if you ain't from here and you want to come here because businesses and things of that nature, whatever. It's New York, they trying to build up to be like a little baby New York. I get it, whatever. Only thing that I'm asking is one, you don't take the essence away from these cities. Two, if you're going to bring business into the city, so like when they wanted years ago when they bought the Prudential Center, which was used to where the Nets down to North, when they used to be up in East Rutherford, you know what I'm saying? Like it was a good thing in a sense because it was like, all right, cool. You could bring revenue to the city, you could bring jobs to the city. What I wanted just to make sure was that if this company or this business that's coming here, that money funnels up into the real part of Newark, to the citizens, not to the downtown area that they're trying to pander for people that don't live there. You know what I'm saying? Like you make these highways and you do all of these changes to make easy access in and out of Newark for people who don't pay taxes there. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm cool with it as long as like that money and these businesses that's coming into the city, as long as the people of the city gets to reap the benefits of that. We shouldn't be pandering to the people who do not pay taxes there. I can't speak for DC because DC is a little bit different because you do have a flux of other people who aren't from there that live there. So I can't really say like, all right, well, they need to draw that money back. But if you go up outside of like, I guess what you would consider like just the busy downtown area, and you really go into the rural parts of DC, like, yeah, that money should be funneling over there. Any money and revenue that they, that stuff should be making its way up there. But that's not
That's
the case.
that's a big should.
Yeah.
That's
But as I say, that's not the case.
I'll give you a quick example and then we could jump away from this. Quick example on that. If y'all know about, I know y'all know about, but people that are listening know about MGM National Harbor. Okay. They call it National Harbor, but that's Oxon Hill, Maryland. Okay. So in that Oxon Hill area, when MGM came in, they had to write off how much they were giving to this all around like the PG County area and stuff like that. Sounded good. How many jobs that they had to put out to the surrounding area. You know what they did? When they knew they had the approval and they said that they were giving it to local surrounding residents as far as jobs, they moved in people from Vegas years beforehand, before it was done. So they were actual residents. So, and they hired them and trained them. There was other people hired, don't get me wrong, but percentage wise, this is how they get around different things. So there's always a catch to something. There's always a thing around something. And I just say it's just unforgiving when I can sit back and just see money being decided upon in your own area just ain't it. It's ridiculous to me.
But I think just to round it up. Oh, go ahead.
No, I'll tell you what you got.
Now I was saying, I think just to round that up. I mean, and I'll be someone who will say, I fought against it, but it does. Your vote does matter, and I'm talking about local. Like your vote.
What time was that? 40.
Shut up. I said local. Local. Your vote matters locally. Because that's where you're gonna see the impact. The most immediate impact is your local government. That's what I said. Go on.
I got it. 43 minutes, Shawn. Go ahead. Cut it off.
Hit the transition.
This is the Hot Seat Podcast with your boy Shawn, Earl, Dave. Episode 132. We're talking about some rising prices and stuff, man. Like it all ties in together. So something else that continues to rise, seems like almost daily, is the cost of food. The cost of food is insane. So much so, the cost of the shit. I give Earl a hard time about him and his rabbit food sometime. But in all seriousness, the cost of the food that ain't good for you is insane. So if you guys hadn't saw, it was back in late October that McDonald's put out a report that their revenue has soared amidst their hiking their menu prices. And I noticed this, going to work and saw like the cost of like meals, even at Chick-fil-A, had gotten astronomically expensive. Like for the same thing you can get outside of there for like $6 less. And when I say the prices went up, so much so that in Darien, Connecticut, one of the McDonald's branches was charging as much as $18 for a Big Mac combo. So you charging damn near 20 before tax now for a Big Mac that the only thing real on that whole damn thing might be the bread and the lettuce. Because maybe with some fries that if you guys ever watched the video of how they make the McDonald's fries and the coating and all that extra shit, and then a Coke that's either flat or it's been superimposed with all of the carbonation on it to damn near kill you. They are increasing prices like really like they're stock rose as much. You're talking about their stock was like $260 a share. A share of arguably the worst food that is not good for you. They have been sued for making people fat and everything else.
So hold on a second.
Jesus.
Because it's like you reading my mind. Earl, did we not just have this conversation a couple of days ago about something?
About
what? Family left out.
Oh yeah.
And Drea left out, and it was just Cam and I here. This was on Saturday. So I asked him what he wants to eat. He want me to order something, blah, blah, blah. He goes, let's get some pizza, right? So I go, all right, the only place that delivers right here is Papa John's. So I sat back, I said, okay, let me order Papa John's. One pizza, mind you, one pizza. He said he particularly wanted stuffed crust. So got a stuffed crust, pepperoni pizza. Do you know how much that pizza came out to be?
Damn near $30.
$22.
The pizza was like 21. Then mind you, delivery, there's a delivery fee, not tip. Mm-hmm. Delivery fee, that's like $5. Then you throw the tax on top of that, and then whatever you want to tip if you tip. It was like $27. $27, $28. And I'm sitting there, and all I could think about, and I told Earl this, a couple days beforehand, about a week beforehand, we went to Costco. For all people that know, I'm a Costco shopper, probably there every week, if not every other.
He is there
and within all
the time.
Costco. So within Costco, they set it up great for that. When you check out, they got a food thing there where they fix a little bit of everything. One thing they fix is pizza. Don't knock this pizza if you hadn't had it, because honestly, I think it's better than a lot of pizza places out there. The only knock on it is that it only serves cheese and pepperoni. Period. All those other options, you're gonna have to go home, put on the mushrooms and stuff yourself.
Yeah, that's
but it's pizza. Worth it because you know how much that pizza is?
$11.
$10.
Close enough.
I could have got 3 pies of Costco pizza for the price of this one stuffed crust that I got from Papa John's. So I say that to agree with you, a long way to agree with what you're saying. That's ridiculous to me.
But you know what?
A delivery fee.
I was just about to say something, Earl. How much did we pay? Remember, we went to the Commanders Giants game. We stopped at McDonald's, and Earl wanted to get an egg and cheese, right?
Yeah.
And the guy was like,
yes. You understand? Go ahead,
yeah. Go ahead and tell him what happened.
It doesn't make sense. So McDonald's got this thing. It's a 2 for $6, right?
Right. That's $3 a piece for you mathematicians out there.
So I don't eat red meat. So usually what I do is I take the sausage off. One day I asked them, I said, yo, when we went there, I said, can I get the 2 for $6, but just take the sausage off? They said, oh yeah, it's gonna be the same price. What you mean? So I was like, you know what? No problem. Just give me the No, yeah, just give me the 2 for $6 with the sausages on. I'm just taking off my damn self because I'm like, and I've been at these fast food places where I'm like, yo, I just give me the egg and what's the name sandwich, no meat, and they charge you the same amount, which doesn't make sense. So I say all that to say, you know how you fix all of this.
Mm-hmm.
You fix all of this by people stop being lazy and just going out and getting getting your food, and cooking that shit. But the problem is we live in a society where, people work, they tired when they get home and they don't feel like cooking. And then if you got kids, we're gonna magnify that times 10.
Yep.
And you saying like, and because there's so many options, it's just like, you know what? I don't feel like cooking. I'm just gonna get you something. Like, think about when we was younger. You know what I'm saying? When we was younger, it wasn't as many options as you have now. But at least in my house, the one day I knew that we was going to eat out, the one day I knew we was eating out was going to be on Friday because my mother wasn't cooking. So that was the day, and it wasn't. I only want to say it was fast food. Like that was usually, for us. That was like, yo, we're gonna get some fish or whatever, or we go around the corner. You know what I'm saying? We go around, we get a fish sandwich from the spot, or we go around the corner, we might get like a little hoagie, you know what I'm saying? Things in that nature. But that was the only day. That was the only day. I mean, you have situations now where Chinese food, right? You know what I'm saying? You get the chicken, the little hood classic.
I used to get a half a chicken, fried rice, and raw way over there by the railroad tracks.
Yeah, I know you're talking about
$5.
Yeah. Or people, you get the hood chicken, you get the wings and the French fries. You know what I'm saying? And you good. But now like it's different. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, even like, I mean, I don't know. It's different. I don't think it's going away because, like I said, it's just the convenience of it that people just like.
But I just be wondering. I'd be wondering how people make it, bro. Like I just be sitting back and just one time, go through the grocery store. Forget like all the extra stuff you get. I'm talking about regular, everyday essentials. Count up between bread, between milk, maybe water, if you ain't doing, like different things that are in there. Regular stuff, peanut butter jelly, like regular little stuff. And then think in your mind how much that is. And then think about somebody that's working 1, 2, maybe even 3 jobs and how much they're making. And after taxes and after all the other things they're paying out. How in the world, bro?
Yeah.
I want to ask y'all this. Getting back to the McDonald's aspect, all that money that they making, and you still can't get this right.
What's that?
You know what that is.
You know what that is. And I'm gonna tell you why this picture is significant.
I don't even know why it's in there.
For all you guys that are listening on the podcast platform, we're showing a picture of what looks like a broke down ice cream machine. This is not a picture that I pulled off the internet. This is a picture that I took my damn self. This is literally a picture that was taken, and I was with my son, I was with the family, and it was like we saw a unicorn. And we saw this, we were like, is that an ice cream machine? Wait a minute. We got to take a picture of that. I've been on this planet for 43 years, going on 44 years. I've always heard about the mythical ice cream machine that was never working, but I've never seen an ice cream machine tossed out in the back. So with all that money, y'all still can't fix this. And it looks like that only applies in the States, because I was down in Puerto Rico and Panama, and the ice cream.
Shit was working?
Bro, they had an ice cream. McDonald's had a separate ice cream kiosk in Panama. Like, they're a huge mall down there. We went down there. They had a separate kiosk that did nothing but ice cream and shake stuff for McDonald's. Right. One of the largest malls in the entire world. I think it's like the mall of, it's not called the Mall of America. I want to say it's like the 26th largest mall in the world. and it was ginormous. And they had a line, and everybody was getting ice cream cones and sundaes.
But you know what? It's like this kind of goes into like the black business argument, right?
Black people ain't got nothing to do with this.
No. Like where we say, all right, so knowing that you got this bullshit, you know that the food ain't good for you and stuff like that. Why do people still go?
McRib.
Why do people everything about this junk is negative, but why do people still go? You know what I'm saying? Why do people still go? Like
He's eating the shit that is the worst for you. It ain't even real. That's just a mystery meat.
I don't even know what that is.
That's it. That's not even impossible rib. That's just like
Is it meat?
It ain't. It's just meat covered in a barbecue ketchup sauce with onions and
But-
pickles.
But they, you know what I'm saying, and I like I said, go back. Like why? And it's sad because it's
On
like
a Kaiser roll.
these damn companies know how to they know how to pander. They got our kids in the chokehold. Well, they going crazy. I need that Happy Meal. You know what I'm
They
saying?
know where you're at. They literally got them in a chokehold. Keep going.
Or you got like, you done made me lose my whole train of thought because you're talking and shit.
Mm.
Nah, but like, or like, you know what I'm saying?
It's my job.
Or you make these commercials that panders to a specific group of people. Where I don't know if you remember back in the day with the freaking, them old McDonald's commercials that had the R&B, you know what I'm saying, or Burger King that had Mary J. Blige, get your nuggets, like they know how to pander.
Like, do you want this? Fries, greasy cheese.
And your simple ass gonna go right there. You remember like Popeyes, bro? Like, that whole shit. How many to the point where you couldn't find it, and it wasn't even good.
Welcome to the WB. That's all I hear over here on Popeyes.
Why didn't you in your love for me?
So we said all that to say this, man. Cook your own damn food.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, let's go pay some bills, man, with this Instacart read, bro. It's that's what we're gonna do.
Hey, it's the holiday season and there's a lot on your plate, literally. From family gatherings to office holiday parties, there's just not enough time in a day to get to the store. That's where Instacart comes in. North America's largest online grocery marketplace. From your favorite food needs, alcohol, office supplies, and more. Instacart will connect you with a personal shopper in your area to shop and deliver your order and stay safe with the contactless delivery with their leave at my door option. To receive free delivery on your first order over $35, just follow the link in the show notes to let them know that the Hot Seat Podcast sent you. Instacart.
Yep. Just go ahead and show notes, guy. Just get your own food. Do what you need. Make your own ribs at home. I am gonna actually make a McRib, but I'm gonna use some real ribs and smoke them, and I'm gonna see if Dave gonna eat it. Like do the whole thing. I'm gonna see how it goes. I'm gonna do a real one, man. Let's get into
all them bones out.
Yeah, man. Let's get into some video game corner, man, because there's a lot of things that are happening in the video game world, and it's all over the place right now. So let's get right into it, man. So the first thing is I did not play this game, but I don't know if you guys saw that this game called The Day Before that came out, and it was like I guess it was like a pre-release or something along those lines. And the game was so bad, it actually, even though sometimes we don't put that much stock in the whole IGN rating, IGN gave this game a 1. Never in my history have I ever seen a game get a IGN score of a 1. And this is from the developer themselves. So it says the day before, developer promises refunds and tells customers, quote, shit happens. So following the disastrous launch of the day before, its developer has said it's working with Steam to make refunds available to all and insisted it will receive no money from the sale of the game. The day before was once Steam's most wish-listed game, but following its early access launch last week, it was met with a backlash for failing to deliver a game even close to what was promised. IGN's the day before review returned a rare 1 out of 10. They said, we said, quote, the day before is easily one of the worst games I've ever played, to the point where I'm afraid to continue running it on my PC. And if you didn't manage to try it, you can count yourself as one of the lucky ones. So it's a zombie shooter game. And yeah, bro. And the developers literally say, hey, man, shit happened, bro. Look, we had, whatever. So I find it hard to believe that they're not going to make any money off of this. Somebody made money somewhere. I don't know where, but somebody got paid. I don't know. Another disappointment that happened, and it was coming to an end anyway. And Dave, you may have already seen this. Earl, you as well. ESA, they confirmed that the E3 convention is officially dead. So they ended E3. That was the big tech convention with gaming and some movies and stuff like that. And it really kind of took a hit. It was kind of going downhill pre-COVID. And then COVID really messed it up, especially now with Xbox having their thing. All the platforms are doing their own conventions now. And they just decided, hey, man, we're just going to cut our losses and go from there. So really, Electronic Entertainment Expo, which was once the gaming industry's biggest convention and media platform, is officially dead. Quote, after more than 2 decades of hosting an event that has served as a central showcase for the U.S. and global video game industry, the Entertainment Software Association, ESA, has decided to bring E3 to a close, said Stanley Pierre-Louis, president and CEO of the nonprofit trade association that represents the game industry's interests in the United States. I watch E3 all the time because I love seeing the new things that was coming out, the new tech that was coming out. And it's kind of sad that it ended that way. But I guess, look at what GameStop used to be. It's not like that used to be anymore. We used to wait outside for Madden and stuff like that. It was a hype around it. But with a digital platform and the fact you got games like the day before coming out and they doing haphazard games or stuff like that, people aren't, consuming that. And tech is everywhere now. Usually you didn't see new technology come out until you saw the E3. Now, just go to Instagram and every week something's getting leaked or something like that. But before we go any further, what's you guys take on the E3 thing, man?
Are you on me?
Yeah, it's fine.
Actually, I can lead into something that you just said for the E3. So you were talking about tech and leaks and stuff like that. Yep. Realize part of my video game corner is actually there was a major leak that just happened.
Yep, it was.
In case you haven't heard about it, it came from Microsoft. So in a major league, Microsoft has accidentally disclosed many of its past, present, and future plans for its gaming division, such as details about its next generation Xbox, planned acquisitions, and a potential new model of the Xbox Series X in late 2024. I was seeing some of the breakdown about this. I guess they were loading it up to who was it? The FTC. What was that? Like the Federal Trade Commission.
Federal Trade Commission.
And because they got to get things passed and stuff. Within the industry, and somebody took that and actually pushed it out as a leak. And within that documentation, it was talking about like the Xbox Series S, an upgrade that's going to be done. I think around the end of the summer next year. For the Xbox Series X, there's going to be an upgrade where it's not in a box form; it's going to be in a cylinder form. And it's going to have more storage, and it's not going to have a disk drive. It's going to be more like the Series S. So when you're talking about these upgrades and these leaks and things, once again, I go to places like a Best Buy, like a GameStop specifically. What are you going there for? What's going to happen when you no longer have the need of going there and even exchange? Like I still go there because I exchange some games that still hold value, like a Call of Duty and things like that. But I mean, it's gonna be obsolete.
Yo, this crazy thing is, I went in there. When did NBA come out? Was that like September-ish?
September, I want to think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I went in. Matter of fact, I was on the phone with you, Dave, when I was going to get, because you was like,
yo, you can find.
You was like, don't forget to get the game. Yo, so there's a Best Buy. I was on 22. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go to Best Buy, right? I go to Best Buy. And literally, I asked him. I said, "Hey, do y'all? Yeah, we don't have that edition." Like what?
And this is when it first came out.
The day it came out. Oh no, I'm sorry, like 2-3 days after
No,
it came out, right?
But it just came out.
It just came out. But when I went into Best Buy, like no BS, like it looked like a deserted land. Like I'm like, this ain't what it used to look like a couple years ago. So then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go to GameStop. I went there. I ain't have any issues. And then I thought to myself, and I was like, you know what? This is exactly why I don't go to these stores and get stuff. Like I literally could just download the game. Sometimes you want the hard copy, but you could just download the damn game. So, and then too, if I need something else, I'm gonna go to the one-stop shop and just get it from Amazon. So like I could see, and you kind of hit a nerve a little bit. I could kind of see within like the next couple of years, like a Best Buy, you know, and stores similar to it will go out of business because it's like, yo, you don't need it no more.
Well, also within that same leak, they were talking about the new generation of the gaming systems, which also leaked, and they're looking at it dropping around 2028.
Yep,
the new generations.
Let's stay on this leak path. So we did just see finally the new trailer for the first trailer for Grand Theft Auto 6, and that comes on the heels after a massive leak of early developments for the game. And then so we had that happen, and then right before that, they actually the trailer got leaked by allegedly a former Rockstar employee's son or something like that. So Rockstar went out and released it quicker than he wanted. He had a bunch, like tens of thousands of people waiting to see it online. So today, if you guys ain't seen, so Insomniac, they are the developers for the Spider-Man 2 game. So there's a follow-up coming to that, which is the Wolverine game. So Wolverine leaks began after alleged Insomniac hack. So we just finished watching the debut of the Grand Theft Auto 6, which was damaged by the fact that an enormous hack released loads of early development footage from game years ago, revealing things like its location and protagonist. This is according to Forbes. Now it's Sony's Insomniac, which has reportedly been hit by a ransomware attack, and leaks have begun with likely more to follow. It's a bad situation where the hacking group, Racita, is currently running a public auction for the data it says has for $2 million in Bitcoin with a week-long deadline. As proof that they have the data, they have released a few in-game, poor quality screenshots of the in-development Wolverine game that is Insomniac's Spider-Man 2's follow-up. They also have access to employee personnel data, including even passport images, which also have been posted from the hackers listing with just, it's bruh. I don't know why I don't know how we've gotten back to this. I don't know. We just fell into I love tech. I love artificial intelligence. So I like the creation of this stuff like that. But with that, and we're talking about Spider-Man, with great power comes great responsibility. We become so reckless as this. Like, you're not just talking about a leak of a game development. Now you're talking about extortion, and you're having people's public information down to their passport photos and such being kind of like you're being blackmailed into either paying up or then releasing people's public information out there with no recourse in some ways. This is what they're gotten to now. And I don't think it's going to end anytime soon. And I know we're already in a space, we talk about it now, where hell, you can't even use your credit card or your debit card in confidence without thinking that somebody may pull one of your cards from the gas station. Next thing you know, somebody trying to buy tires at a Walmart in California. True story.
Dude, I got so many protections on my FanDuel account. Earl and I were just discussing this, that I had to change my password every other week.
Right.
Every other week. Because it lets me know that people are trying to hack into the account. Now, I never keep much money in there anyway, but I actually just took a course because I'm doing something through the lending stuff that is going to be announced soon. But it was talking about things like hacking into systems, keeping people's personal information and things like that. And realize people do this for a living.
Yes.
Like how you sit back and do certain things for a living, they do this for a living.
Right.
They learn how to break into systems, break down systems. Everybody gets those phone calls each and every day. Everybody gets the links that are sent to your email. Hey, did you check out the so-and-so? And all you got to do is hit that link and they're in there with their malware. So that's just the world we live in, man.
Yeah.
And we're not talking about the average Joe, just like you said, Shawn. We're talking about big companies that they have nothing else that they can do except for pay up.
Yep.
So they can release their information.
Yep. On the upside, man, I will say.
Copy?
Was it?
Oh yeah, I released the information back to you. Don't mean I didn't copy it.
Absolutely. Right. On the upside, man, something that looks very interesting, and this is making me want a Steam system in case there, but hopefully it comes out on gameplay. The vintage animation shooter Mouse gets new gameplay trailer in 2025 release window. So if you guys are talking about it, it's a black and white game there. If you look at the early renditions of Mickey Mouse back in the 1930s. So they've created this shooter, which you guys may find very appealing as well. But it's like, think about Mickey Mouse drawn back in the day there, and it's a straight Call of Duty style shooter. It looks pretty dope. The trailer, I'm gonna make sure I put the link on it, man. They're talking about 2025 release. It's pretty dope.
I know you ain't looking forward to any Call of Duty style shooting game at all. I'm mad you even said it out your mouth. Be honest with you.
I'm just saying
it
looks dope. It just looks dope. You know, I might give it 15 minutes and then I'm like, I'm good.
I didn't want to be triggered, so I stayed quiet because I was going to say the same shit.
I have a condition.
About to say he's fucking. I say he's fucking lying.
I mean, it looks dope. I'll play it. I'll play it long enough to be like, all right, I'm cool. And it's our video game corner, man. Oh my God.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on. My bad. I do want to say this before we get off the game corner. So, if you guys recall, maybe a few months back, me and Dave, we had our gripes about Call of Duty, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not the last one. It was one before that. I forget what it was called. Don't even matter, right? It was just fucking horrible.
You talking about the one saw with a V? Is that what you're talking
Vanguard, yes.
Vanguard, yeah.
It was absolutely fucking horrible. And they knew. So it was one that came, I think it was either before or after that was dope. We was like, all right, we really dig this, right?
Yeah.
So then we was like, all right, it's another one coming out.
Modern Warfare 3, I think.
Yeah, Modern Warfare 3. Me and Dave was like, cool, let's see. Please just, if they stay on the realm of what the last one was, then they should be good. Me and Dave played this the other day. Keep in mind, neither one of us had shit to do. It was a day full of video games. When I tell you that we probably stayed on that game maybe an hour, and at that point we was kind of like, yeah, so we're gonna play now, cause this ain't it. And it's just like, yo, they making stuff it's like too difficult, and it's like it ain't the same type of level of fun, as it was. So I just want to say to Call of Duty, the people who made Call of Duties, I want y'all to stop reinventing the wheel. If something is working and you get the feedback and people saying they like this, hey, do me a favor, buddy. Keep it. Just find ways to enhance it. That's it. You struck gold, just enhance it.
And that's why I never traded back in Modern Warfare.
Well, at this point, I'm about to download this shit back on my hard drive. Like, this shit don't make no damn sense.
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
It ain't as bad as Vanguard, but damn it, it's
not as good as well.
By the way, how are we about to get Blade in the game form before we get the movie? All right, let's just transition.
I saw that too. Yeah, I saw that too. I don't know what's happening, but Marshall Ali, he say he's feeling really good about the new writing of the new film.
Good.
So yeah, so we'll see how that
so
goes.
You can pronounce all these other big words, but you can't say Mahershala. Mahershala, whatever.
Mahalia, I don't know. I've been doing it. I don't know. I don't know. Mazel tov.
If he ever wanted to come on this show, he gonna go back and say, "Okay, well, fuck y'all."
You know what? This is a perfect time Hit me with the not so breaking news.
I was waiting for it too.
Perfect
I was so waiting for that.
Not so breaking news.
Out president, former president, still president, Obama. In case y'all don't know, Obama and the family is actually facing backlash right now. I haven't watched this yet, but if you don't know, him and his wife had created a production studio.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of, I believe it's, I don't want to get it wrong. I believe it's called Higher Ground. And it's led by both him and his wife, of course, Michelle Obama. And he said he was putting it together to focus on projects that actually dealt on the issues of race and class and democracy and civil rights. Well, he's done a couple of things, and actually, I believe they already won an award for one of the films that had came out a couple years back. But this new one that's on Netflix, in case you didn't know if he was involved in this, he's not only involved in the production of it, but personal consultant of the film called Leave the World Behind. Now it's on my list to watch, but you know it's still dealing with a whole lot of not controversy. What's the word I'm looking for? A whole lot of different
controversy.
No, not controversy. No. Shoot, I'm forgetting the word that I'm looking for. But a lot of different things that let's just say will stir up a lot of conversation, a lot of situations that are being discussed. One of the things that's in there that they're catching slack about is basically, I guess, it's coming to the sense of like the end of the world collapsing. And there's a couple families out there, and it gets to a point where people are talking on, I was about to say Twitter, but it's called X now, where they're saying that he's producing a racist clip where a family is talking about, even though it's coming to the end of the world, still don't trust these white people. And that's how the family's talking to each other. And they had turned this into the reverse side of racism now, on what he's producing. And that is the stir up about this. Now, they're saying how they're depicted and how they're put out there. If we were depicted, Black people, in this way, then it would catch a lot of slack. Have we not looked at movies like my whole life of how we're depicted? I mean,
let me guess. This movie coming.
So
is it out already or is it coming out?
It's on Netflix.
I was about to say, is this coming out on Christmas? Because I feel like, again, they like to put us on Christmas. I'm just saying.
But we're talking about, I haven't seen it, so I can't talk about the whole thing. But
yeah,
the main thing that people are talking about is this statement that is in there. Now,
what? What was? I'm confused. Like,
hold on, let me see if I can get right to the exact statement. I know it's in here somewhere. Give me a second.
While you're looking up that statement, okay, go ahead. And I said, while you're looking up that statement, I just want to say, I mean, they were a model couple, and there was another model. Go ahead. Do what you do.
Here we go.
Do what you.
So the scene in question shows a Black couple lying in the bed as the lines, "I'm asking you to remember that if the world falls apart, trust should not be doled out easily to anyone, especially white people." And that's what they're causing a stir about.
And
it's all over.
And who said this?
It's all over. No, this is a scene within the movie. Because I guess the movie is talking about like the end of the world, basically, in a way, like the collapsing of the world around you. And there's a couple families, I guess, left. And so I guess this is a Black family, and they're talking to each other, like basically saying, I don't care what's going on. Remember, don't trust these white people. And now people are all over Twitter / what is X now, talking about it is demonizing towards white people. And it shouldn't be allowed, and the Obamas are involved in this, and to be racist. Let me read this one from let's see, Netflix film called Leave the World Behind, produced by the Obamas. See how they put that out there? This is on X. This is what somebody said. Produced by the Obamas, includes a scene demonizing white people. White people are the only group you're allowed and celebrated to be racist towards, and it will be put into movies by the most influential people. Really?
Hey, let me end this out, Earl. I ain't gonna let you ain't gotta respond to this.
Go ahead. Yo, why they want to feel oppression so bad? Like,
you know what? Damn the oppression.
Let me go back.
Go ahead. I'm gonna say
I'm not generalizing.
God.
I'm not going to. Some white folks want to feel oppression so bad, and the oppression that they want to feel ain't even a real oppression. It's like they want to feel something just to say, oh no, we a part of this. We know what that for. No, you don't. No, you don't.
So for all the white people who feeling feeling some type of way, I got some cool ass white people, my John B's and all that. Y'all good. But for all the white people who feeling a certain way about this film, you want to feel a certain way? I'm gonna take y'all back a little bit.
Shit, a little.
And you should feel a way about this. Go back to the 1930s, and there was a child actor by the name of Shirley Temple, whole name Shirley Temple Black, and there is a black and white film called Baby Burlesque in color, or black and white, and then get back to me. That's
shit,
all I'm saying.
I can go there. We have a black entertainment television who's owned by white folks.
I'm pretty sure that Baby Burlesque is a lot worse than them owning that black entertainment.
We have things in our culture. Actually, our whole culture has been stolen from us. Who we are has been stolen from us. My last name is not a reflection of who I am. My last name is not my family's. Like I don't look at my last name and say, you know, I'm proud of that. I'm a so and so. You know what I'm saying? We came from here. No, my last name is a depiction of whatever slave masters own my family. So I don't want to hear shit about these people complaining because they saying don't trust white people. Honestly speaking, if that person said that, they had a reason to say that. You know what I'm saying? Now, do I agree with that statement? No. Because just like you can't trust you may not be able to trust certain white people. You can't trust certain black people. You can't trust certain Asian people. You know what I'm saying? But those that's trying to sit up here and blow this up into a race thing, cut it out. Cut it the fuck out.
All I say is one thing. Potlucks and potato salad with raisins. And of course, this podcast wouldn't be what it is if we hadn't taken our Xbox Live conversation for 15 years and counting over to the podcast airwaves during the COVID era of all things, and we still running, and bring all of our opinions, ideologies, arguments, laughter, insanity, unfiltered conversation over here right now, and driving up these numbers into the thousands. So, of course, you guys can find me on Xbox Live if I ever get back up there again, because, you know, I don't know what happened. I just haven't been there in a while. I haven't gamed in a while. I did download the World War Z game. I hadn't played it yet. I didn't get a chance to play that. Earl, Dave, did you play it at all?
Yeah, I played it.
Okay. How was it? Okay.
After you play Call of Duty, it's just, you know.
Yeah, everything's like that. Yeah, so you can find me Sanatu when I get back up there. Right now, I'm like in a stalemate because, of course, you guys have been following the show. You saw that City Skylines 2, they pushed it back into 2024, so I'm still pissed off about that. And you know, now I feel like I gotta wait till 2025 to get a Grand Theft Auto 6. Forza is still great. Yeah, that's pretty much how this is going down right now. Yeah, that's all I got. What you got, Earl?
NJ Fatboy 973. I'm on basketball. I'm actually enjoying the basketball. Me and Dave unlocked some stuff, and I'm actually enjoying that.
Did you like the in-season tournament?
No. I don't understand it. And the fact that they was celebrating as if they won the real thing was sickening. Like Michael Jordan would never. Michael Jordan would never.
That's a whole nother show. What you got, Dave? That's a whole nother show.
The storyteller. I'm mad you just brought that up at the end of the show. Because I have certain feelings about that
Yeah.
LeBron put together tournament. That's
Yeah,
what we call it.
you're right.
And
We're gonna say that.
yeah,
Though.
we'll
We're
leave
gonna
it.
say that. All we're gonna say is Michael Jordan would never.
And of course, man, you guys can get more of the Hot Seat Podcast on Sundays at 9:30 a.m. streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, and Switch for the Hot Seat Podcast presents Football Talk Live. We'll have a lot to talk about this week because we're getting
Tommy DeVito. Tommy
Cutlets.
them
Tommy
goddamn
Cutlets.
them goddamn cutlets, and these mofos gonna mess around and make the playoffs fucking around.
Oh,
It's
shit.
Saturday. I would die.
At this point, I'm all in. And let me tell you something. If he beats the Eagles twice, yo, the Giants need to come to the front of the congregation.
Get about twice. If he beats him once.
Hey, look,
true.
Just a quick prelude to Sunday. There has to be a serious conversation about next season when Daniel Jones is back healthy and be like, look, I know we paying you 40 something, but you will have to sit your ass down to be his backup. If he continues to get better, I'm just saying. And I think Stephen S said it best. Stephen A. Those guys out there were not playing the same way with Daniel Jones, bro. The line, the receivers, they were not. So if you mess around and go into next season and insert him in just because you're paying him money, they may revert back to the Giants that they were at the beginning of the season when he was playing, to be perfectly honest. And I'll just give that take now. I think, if anything else, I think some of those players may not like how it turned out, how they paid Daniel Jones all that money and he stunk up the joint, and then they played Saquon for a fool. And then now, them guys, Tommy DeVito, bro. I don't care living in his mama house. My man's out there balling, bro. I'm just saying.
If anything was gonna happen, I'm done. Tommy will be on the active roster. He'll probably be, if they hold 3 quarterbacks, he'll probably be the third. But they definitely gonna draft somebody. And when Daniel Jones gets the fuck up out of there, he'll be number 2.
I'll save my thoughts for Sunday.
Facts. All I know is January 8th is almost here. What does that mean? Black Monday. Let's go, Commanders. Let's go, Josh Harris. Yes!
The hot seat.